Hello and welcome to Kump. Back in New York. Went on some traveling to a different state. Let's not get into it. Well, it doesn't matter. The state wasn't that impressed. It was fine. It was a fun time. We did go to the farmer's market yesterday, me and Lucy, and that's something of a revelation. Something of a dark revelation. I don't know if you've been to a farmer's market in New York, in Brooklyn, which is where I am. But it's you start asking questions and you start getting strange answers. You start trying to chat people up and ask them about, cause I don't care about like farmers. All right, like I'm not trying to pull the veil back here and say something controversial, but like that's your job. I'm a butcher. We're all part of the food chain. I cut the meat, you grow the rutabagas. We're all getting wet. It's all fine. But I'm not sitting there going, "Oh, the farmers are the goddamn they unite the center of America." I don't hate farmers. I'm fine with them. But I'm not going to pretend to be mystified because you can grow a green bean. All right? We all have our jobs. We all have our skills. Oh, you made, corn. Okay. I can make the bone of a calf or a cow empty of meat by carving. And also a podcast. So, I'm not going to be, you put a fucking seed in the ground and all of a sudden, you're Johnny Appleseed. But that being said, I was trying to be polite. I'm trying to be engaged. I'm at a farmer's market. I mean, I'm envisioning just bountiful crops when I get there. The land of milk and honey, if you will. And we woke up late. The farmer's market's only open until 2. What happened to sun up and sundown? You were open until 2 p.m., first of all. First strike against you. Fine, we had to get an Uber to the park instead of walking there, whatever. But the point is, so we got an Uber, and we got dropped off at this park, and everyone's cooking their meats and their lobsters in the park like it's a bacchanal. Is that a thing? In a Roman feast? Kids' parties of lobsters and pulled pork. Like smokers of meat. I mean, this just seems a little. Why don't you make a hot dog, first of all? Your kids having a party at the park. You make a hamburger. You make a hot dog. You make we can bring a deep fryer. Make a corn dogs. That just seems an extravagance. You're not a foodie. You're just eating a lobster where it doesn't belong. Lobsters don't belong at parks. Stop showboating. You got a multitude of people. You got one table's probably eating, paint chips because they can't afford food for their little novenas, little bambinos, whatever you call children in your culture. And then you're eating, you're just a bunch of 20-something, 30-somethings, young professionals in Brooklyn, just shoving lobster in your face and your bearded, not that fat, but just your greasy face. Your metaphorically fat face, even though your face should be fatter. You're just a pig. Why don't you give those lobsters to the children? Why don't you eat some paint chips and give that lobster to a child? How about that? But you don't. You work in an advertising firm and you live in Brooklyn and you're shoving lobster into your fat mouth with and the ribs that you put in the smoker. How about you show some class? Show some dignity. Eat a hot dog, you monster. But anyway, we got dropped. So we had to run the gauntlet through these things as we're walking down the sidewalk to get to the farmer's market. And we get there, and these, I start. Lucy makes her way to the fruit and veg. I have started keto again, so you can all shut up about that. But so my point is, I was like, I'll peruse. I saw a turkey stand. Now, turkey's not really a great keto meat. It's not fatty enough. I'm not, don't take your nutrition advice from me, but you want fattier meat to eat less protein and more fat. I don't know. So the point is, but turkey, I like turkey, but it's not, I don't think it's a keto meat. But I got some keto thighs, so maybe that counteracts it. The thigh is a fattier piece of meat. And I asked the guy, and he looked a nice guy. Where's your farm? And he's like, oh, we were from Jersey and like south of Princeton. I'm like, that's fine. I just came from Jersey. We were in Jersey. Secret's out. I was in New Jersey. And you should go fishing in this spot. He's trying to tell me fishing spots. And I'm just thinking about how this guy wants to get me to go fish. And then he'll find me and just, shoot me with a sniper rifle probably. Because he had like a neck tattoo and whatever. He seemed like a meth guy. Maybe not an addict, but a dealer. And he was just, but he was nice. He was nice, the best one of the lot. But then, I'm asking some other guy. I'm buying some fresh eggs, the brown eggs, fresh eggs. I used to have a friend who had emus in his backyard. He had a long backyard, and he had emus in there. But that's not where the eggs came from. He also had a chicken coop. But he had emus and goats. I don't know why. His dad was a dentist. But his dad liked to collect, ventriloquist dummies and have emus. And that's fine. That's your cross to bear. I'm not going to judge him. Does it seem weird? I'm past it. I'm over it. You think about it. But best eggs I ever had in my life were these brown eggs he gave me one time. I was staying over the house. The mom gives me these brown eggs to take home. And I came in my pants when I ate those eggs. Probably it wasn't old enough. I don't know. I don't know if I actually came. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't even know if I was sexually active at that point with my master. I probably was. I mean, not active. But even just it doesn't matter. Point is, great eggs. So I was like, I gotta get these brown eggs. I'm like, where are you guys from? What's the farm? Well, the farm is upstate New York. And I thought it was a weird way to answer. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, the guy brings it down to Union Square and that farmer's market. And then we sell these eggs, from him, And so you're just buying at a different farmer's market? I thought I was buying from farmers. Highly disturbing. Because these guys all seem like weird, douchey farmers. Guys who just kind of, there's a certain vibe. They don't seem like salt of the earth farmers, but they seem like guys who would start a co-op farm in the middle of Detroit and grow beets out of what used to be, the coffin of a murdered child in the middle of Detroit. We was using child victims and murder victims, the RoboCop victims, to grow our root vegetables. That's so I could buy that. But he's just telling me he's just buying from some guy in Union Square. It's like, well, why don't you just sell me a pocketbook while you're at it? And a box of stereo equipment with a brick inside. What are we doing? And then some of them take, cards, like debit cards, but then Lucy wanted to buy some peaches, and they made her buy wooden tokens, like exchange, and then you get cash back for the tokens for the difference in price. It just, I don't like it. I got some really good salami though. There was a salami stand that had like a sopressata type. It was nice. It was very soft, but they put this waxy, weird coating on the outside. I don't like that. Chalky. Got my hands all gooey. But you're not buying from the people. These people are just going to like Italian, purveyors or whatever. What do you call those places? Like gourmet Italian. We went to one in Jersey on the way back. It was fantastic. We got some cheese and parsley sausage ring and some nice breads. Before I was on keto, so shut up. And whatever. We got some bacon aiolis and the stuff. We were took there by someone. They took us to the Italian. This place makes the best sandwiches. And they were good. They were really good sandwiches. But I feel like this is the kind of place, these farmers markets just going to these places and buying up their vegetables and their meats and their salamis. And they go and pass them off as farmers markets. Pass them off as farm fresh meats and cheeses. And I'm a butcher, so I know what I'm looking at. Anyway, so that was kind of a letdown. And then It was fine. I mean, the salami was great. So the Haitian president's dead. I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm not too familiar with He's murdered, assassinated by a group of people. A bunch of people are in jail. I don't know much about the. I was very. It came on my phone. It's funny how we don't make a big fuss about that. It's Haitian president. No one, let's just focus on Biden's infrastructure plan or the horse cock we're talking about these days. But R.I.P. to the president of Haiti. Wish you the best. Your family. Wish Haiti the best. Haiti's had a bad run of it as of late, past decade or so. A lot of hurricanes, natural disasters. So let's hope. It'd be nice if we got Haitian Batman maybe, like a Batman could clean up Haiti. I know it's not the most popular idea to promote vigilantism, and is saying the third world like offensive now? I mean, if I was in the third world, I'd be offended. If someone's like, you're a third world, well, we don't have a lot of money. You're part of the third world. Well, who's the second world? Russia? Why is it even, why? All right, so basically, as far as I know, the Soviet Union was the second world. Maybe even Russia. And then the first world was America. It just seems like loaded off the bat. So when the Soviet Union collapsed, can't we promote? If I was in Haiti, I'd be like, all right, so we're second world now, right? Why are we still third world? It just seems like an arbitrary ranking. I mean, I'm sure there's there's a hierarchy in the third. Why not have 10 worlds? And that way you can have a competition. It seems a little. I mean, I'm not trying to go do the go woke and go broke thing, but I do think it just seems maybe we could have 7 worlds, and that way, and Haiti might still be on the bottom. They're a very poor country. They've just bad luck. People go, oh, corrupt governments. Yeah, sure. I mean, who put them there? Not always us. I mean, we didn't help. And we hurt probably. I know Wyclef Jean took a lot of heat for being kind of. Was he? I think he was. I don't want. I don't know if it was something. I had some people I knew who were Haitian who told me about stuff. I don't know if it came from them or if it came from the news. I don't know if Wyclef Jean is clean in the news, but I heard things that he's just that whole run for president. But I like the Fuji, so I'm not talking. I don't want to be talking smack or whatever. But R.I.P. Let's get the Haitian Batman. That's my contribution. A guy. I mean, there's not a lot of tall. Are there a lot of tall buildings in Haiti? Could the Haitian Batman grapple hook around the same way? I don't know. These logistics. He might have to ride a motorcycle or moped, or dirt bike even, just because they're more nimble, I think, than a motorcycle. I know Batman typically rides a motorcycle. But, I think there's a lot of crowded city. Like, Port-au-Prince is probably pretty crowded. So maybe he wants to get a dirt bike and he can go weaving in and out of traffic and then smash some guy in the face because he did whatever. He hit a kid. I mean, people hit kids everywhere. People, do things to kids everywhere. Start with that. I'm not telling you, to paralyze every pickpocket you see. People are trying to get by. But no one should be hurting a kid. So Haitian Batman can start there, and then we'll get a lay of the land. I mean, they're going to want... I understand. Everyone's probably going to want him to be Haitian. So maybe Wyclef Jean could be the Haitian Batman. He's got money, right? Because Batman needs to have money. I'm not... there are other Haitians who have money, but I'm not familiar. I don't have their whole roster. But maybe Wyclef Jean's the kind of guy. He's a playboy. The Fugees have great hits. It could be a great take on Batman, and then he beats up pedophiles in Haiti. And maybe, does some earthquake awareness, some relief, get the water clean. I think the water's the problem. Who knows? I'm not international relations major. I'm just going. Yes. So, thank you for tuning in. The shirt, people, go, hi, why you always wearing a sweatshirt? You can have air conditioning, first of all, so I can wear a sweatshirt inside, but I'm wearing a nice shirt. It's a button shirt. It's a summer shirt. It's a new Kump look, so enjoy that. If you think you have ideas for me for cool, if you want me to wear a friggin' Michael Jordan jersey, you want me to wear some kind of kingly garment, we can do a poll in the comments. maybe I'll do a merch drop of like, just bootleg Michael Jordan, like Air Jordans and like stuff. That'd be fun. We'll get this out of the way. We do our Batmans to, my depression Batmans every week. And this is the Arkham Asylum Batman from the video game. He's a cool-looking Batman. I haven't played Arkham Asylum yet. I'm playing Arkham Origins because my PS4 broke, as everyone knows. And the only thing they had, I still have a PS3, which I bought to play some game, which I don't think I even played. But I never had a PS3 when it was around. But I bought a PS3 to play some game when I was into video games for 2 weeks. Much like I'm into Batman now. I just, I get these manic. So whatever. So I'm playing Arkham Origins because it's the only one they had in the PS3 online store. But it's same idea. So this is he's got in the game you're fighting the Penguin, who's like British. He's a British Penguin who, in the movie he's like a weird penguin creature, but I think he's just a guy who's short, who's supposed to be like the mob guy. In the Batman universe, it seems like Penguin's the mob guy, even though they have mob guys. They have the Falcone character, right? And the guy who, Tom Wilkinson played in the Batman Begins. Like, you all think because you're Bruce Wayne, you go to Harvard, and you're going to come here and take my clams? Your clams, you can get fucked. And then he pulls a gun out. I could shoot you right here, and the judge would help me fuck your mouth. Because I run the judges. Because I'm the head of the mafia. And Bruce Wayne, swapped his coat with a homeless guy. And, got away. That homeless guy, I think, was the guy from Snatch, the guy Boris. Anyway, but I like Tom Wilkinson. So this is it's a good game. You're playing. I don't have as much to say about it as other ones. It's not as crazy. You're doing stuff. You get to beat up people. I mean, most of the game is spent beating up crowds of men who. Here's the thing. You assume they're all criminals, and you're right. But they're just crowds of men. And you kind of you're traipsing around the city with your grappling hook, and you have bigger missions on hand. But it's like Grand Theft Auto, but instead of like random people, there's only criminals, and they'll just be wandering, all gathered on a rooftop. But the way you play, you just come like, what if it's a quinceañera? I mean, it could easily be a quinceañera, and I'm just brutalizing men. And I feel guilty, even though they always turn out to be criminals, but it's conditioning people to brutalize quinceañeras or bar mitzvahs or sweet 16s or other adult theme parties, anniversary parties. Any gathering of, when you see more than one man at a time, this game is conditioning you to be like, well, you just got, I'm trying to get the word out about this Haitian Batman. And the Batman video game's not helping because it's just making it seem like, well, that's just, people, the counter argument with the Haitian Batman is, well, what if there's a nice gathering of men playing dominoes, for instance, on the street corner? Would the Haitian Batman just start beating them up and breaking their limbs and punching them in the dick in the face? And I would go, no, why would that happen? You're a bad faith actor. You're making a bad faith argument. But you're playing this game and you go, maybe. Because, that seems to be the way the Batman video game envisions Batman. But he's a fun guy. He's got a nice little, he's got pointy edges. He's got this, it seems unfair that you're putting these hooks here. I'm sure, what if you have to save a baby? Batman's got these gauntlets. But what if you're picking up a kid and then some other kid's pulling at your leg from a fire? The Batman's helping out in the fire. And he's just like, what? And then baby's got, face slashed. These need to be retractable, perhaps. I should really. I have ideas for Batman comics. If anyone knows people in the comic industry, I got ideas, and we could work something out. But I could write for these people. I got great things. So we'll move on to the theme of the day, because today is a great day of sport. It turns out, for me at least. I'm a sports guy. My main thing is tends to be basketball, but I look. Here's the thing. So this morning, it starts out with the Wimbledon men's championship of tennis. Wimbledon is the great English tennis tournament, right? I got into tennis years ago, but didn't stay into it. I don't watch it every year. I got into it when I was living alone in my first apartment, working at the morgue, and on my days off for a few weeks, I watched all of Wimbledon. I watched it. I had the Xbox 360 at the time, and their TV, their like ESPN app, had this picture-in-picture thing, which was cool. So I could watch 2, maybe 3, for some reason, tennis matches at once. I got again manically into it. I got I got into the video games, get into the Batmans, and I was into tennis. And I was watching every goddamn match, and then you stop because I watched tennis for 10 years and keep track of it. I watched Formula One for years. Formula One, people watch it now because they got that Netflix show where you're like inside Formula One. I was watching it when I was getting up at 7 a.m. every day when it was on like Speed Vision. And it was esoteric, and no one knew what happened. No one knew what the inside of a Formula One paddock looked like. Where they're shoving weird dildos into the drivers to like hydrate them properly. I mean, if you don't know about Formula One, it's the pinnacle of motorsport. It is the highest echelon of technology in auto racing. And I can't rule out the fact they would shove a dildo into a driver to hydrate them in a very particular way. Not sexually. Don't get weird. But it's and people watch. You can watch that on Netflix. But I didn't have that. I got bored with F1 because, like a lot of sports, the money gets involved, and then it gets boring. It gets a little stale because the same people always keep winning. The same teams. I got sick of watching Mercedes. No one's bringing up the fact that the Germans and the Nazis. That's fine. That's all. And they killed people at Le Mans in the 60s. That's why, or 59. And there's a Le Mans race, the 24-hour Le Mans in France. Don't tell me it's Le Mans. It's Le Mans, I think. And there was a Mercedes car that went like spiraling into the crowd, killed a bunch of people, and they didn't like race as Mercedes for decades. But then they come back and they start dominating, Formula One. And it got boring. So, where's my point? Oh, so I'm watching tennis. But yeah, it's a weird thing. They say about sports that they bring people together. They keep having these stupid commercials. And they go, sports bring people together. Some variation on that. But they really work well for the lonely. Because anyone can watch a sport. Anyone can sit around. You don't have to have friends. No one has to touch your dick or pussy. Like I'm saying, like you can be a person who's repulsive and like no one will touch you sexually, and you can still get a thrill out of sports. Sports that should be the selling point for sports. Not that they teach you team building, not that they teach you camaraderie or like determination or hurting people. That it teaches. It's there. It's the only thing you got. If you got nothing else, you got this. You can get drunk and watch this and feel excited. What are you gonna do? You gonna watch the Gilmore Girls? You're gonna rewatch Star Trek Next Generation 6 times in a row? You need content, and sports is perennial content. It's exciting. You don't know what's gonna happen. It's just out there. It's fun. Now, there's more than just Wimbledon. This is a whole a day of sport, it seems like. Because I guess we have Wimbledon. We have the Euro, which I watched just recently. And what I'm about to watch once this podcast is over is the NBA Finals Game 3. All right, so we'll get into all of them. But, it's sometimes nice to forecast. So, but it's they're all there if you've been left by your wife, if your kids think you're a drunk, if your boss is threatening to fire you if you don't jerk them off, which you should tell someone. But I'm just saying, when life is don't kill yourself. Watch baseball. That's my motto to people. I mean, it's not look. This isn't great. This is not like this is not your your best life. Your best life didn't happen. I'm sorry. A lot of people don't have their best life happen. It doesn't make you a bad person. You could watch football Americana, where that's football, soccer, whatever. I call it football. Why don't we call it American football and football? Soccer is a terrible name. I mean, it's just weird because it's been around forever, and I don't like it. I'm not advocating for soccer or for football or European football, whatever you want to call it. Football, F-U-T. When you learn Spanish, they spell it F-U-T-B-O-L, which is great. It's got a great flair to it. But I don't like it, and we'll get into why when we get to the Euro portion of this conversation. But still, it just seems arrogant and weird to call our football football. We could have just called it I mean, it's better because you use your hands. Well, I'll get to that. I have still not been contacted, by the way, by the Diet Coke people in the aftermath. Who was it? Ronaldo? Remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about Ronaldo, and he get this. This is my version of it. I go, because here's me. Oh, water. Get rid of this. Bring me the Dr. Pepper or Diet Coke in this case. I mean, whoever wants to pay me, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get me advocating your product in favor of water. That's not gonna kill me. So, but yeah, it's just you could be, I haven't seen my daughter in 20 years. I think she became a stripper and then got stabbed, but then went to school and now she's doing good. Not a stripper. I don't want to disparage sex workers, but I'm envisioning a person who didn't want to strip. And there are those people. So all you sex positive people, stop pretending like everyone in the industry, especially that industry, is doing it because they're super sex positive. A lot of people, are doing it because they don't have a lot of options and it's the best option. Just like being a waiter. It kind of sucks, but or a bartender's not great. Always. It can be great. Stop pretending like everyone who's stripping wants to be stripping. It's capitalism. We do it. Doesn't mean. Yeah, I don't know what side of this I'm on, but I'm just sick of this. Everyone's like, stop disparaging the sex worker. Why did you say that a girl got stabbed? Because she didn't get stabbed because she's a stripper. She was a stripper and she got stabbed. Then she went to college and got a degree, and that one of those crap degrees doesn't pay money. Okay, and she's doing good, but she won't talk to you because you're a drunk. Was the point? And but you can still watch the NBA Finals. They put it on regular TV even, which is nice. You can tell that's how important sports are because they sell the rights, right? They sell all the rights to these. You want to watch the NBA playoffs, for instance. They're on ESPN or TNT. You want to watch. I mean, they might have a couple games on a Sunday. You want to watch baseball. A lot of it's on. I mean, it's not always on local stuff, but the final stuff is always on. Not tennis, but, other sports. Actually, you know what? The Wimbledon final, maybe it was on ABC. I didn't even check. The point is, it's exciting. People need this release, and the people who need it most are the people who can't afford ESPN Classics or ESPN Regular or ESPN Plus or Disney Plus, all right? They know what they're doing because your daughter... She still has the scar from getting stabbed because this guy, it didn't even happen at the strip club and you're saying I'm not sex positive. It happened at McDonald's. She was actually, trying to steal some guy's Egg McMuffin. She thought she was getting cute. And look, when I say she was getting cute, I don't think she deserved to get stabbed for that, to be clear. But I'm just saying she had plenty of money. She was a stripper who made a ton of money in this scenario. But she just, for a thrill, took the wrong guy's English McMuffin, off it. She tried to do a sleight of hand trick, and all of a sudden he's like he was a bad, the 1%er maybe, or one of these criminal bikers, and he stabbed her. He was drunk, he wanted that English muffin, and she took it. So who's got egg on their face? Point is, she still has a scar, but she won't talk to you. But you can get some excitement out of your life. You can enjoy LeBron James. Not this year. He's out. You can enjoy And you can't enjoy tennis, I don't think. I don't think the tennis finals were on network TV. They should be, though. They should really put them on network TV. Because people need that release. And there's something nice about watching Wimbledon. It's on the grass. There was an Italian Berrettini fighting Novak Djokovic. Now, Djokovic was a guy who I was watching back in my heyday of watching tennis. Novak Djokovic, the Serbian, they call him the Joker sometimes. He calls himself Spider-Man. This sounds like stuff I would do, but he's much more fit. Maybe because he stopped eating gluten. See, they don't talk about it anymore, but I remember back in like 2012 when I was watching, they made a big fuss about the fact that he was always floating around the top 10, top 5 guys, but like never taken on the head, like Federer and Nadal. But he stopped eating gluten, and all of a sudden he was dominating tennis, and good for him. And he was fighting the Italian Berrettini. And look, whatever. I watched it. I watched the semifinals on Friday on a whim. I was off work, and I watched the semifinals. And it was nice. There's something about Wimbledon with the grass. It's kind of, pleasing. There's an IBM commercial about being in an English garden. We have all these sensors. We have 15 cameras on the center court. We have a dozen sensors. We have a bomb in the roof, and we hide them all to preserve our original ideal. Tennis, a game of tennis in an English garden. And I thought that was nice. We shot a kid, and we hid the body to preserve our ideal of tennis in an English garden. There was a rape that occurred on center court, and we hid it. We're IBM. We can do that. And we did it not because we support rape. Don't get cute. But we do like to preserve our ideal of tennis in an English garden. It's nice. We know where Hoffa, we have his body. We're not going to tell you. You know why? Tennis in an English garden. We killed Kennedy. Tennis in an English garden. Tennis garden. Tennis garden. That should be my response to everything. If the Senate was asking me about any kind of murders that I did or didn't know about, sir, I reluctantly invoke my right to preserve the ideal of tennis in an English garden. But yeah, I gotta hand them. It's nice. And so it's whatever. They're playing. And this guy was supposed to get smoked by Djokovic, and he lost, the Italian. But Berrettini, very good-looking guy, very nice eyebrows. I gotta say, I was even showing Lucy, look how good-looking this guy is. I don't know why, but, I did. And I was rooting for him in the way you root for, I'm not a Djokovic fan. I'm a Rafa Nadal fan. Rafael Nadal, the Spanish guy. I like him. Or Federer. Djokovic is, you got to respect him, but he's a little too angry. He seems like going to bite your face or something. But, Novak won, and the Italians lost. But it was a big day for Italian sport because they had the Euro Cup after that. And, it's funny. Kate Middleton, the Princess of England. Is that her name? The Duchess of Sussex? The Duchess of Wales, or whatever she is. Is she the Princess of Wales? Because Diana was Princess of Wales, right? Or no? Wait, no. The husband is the Prince of Wales. Her dad, her father-in-law. I don't know. I really focus on the diaspora. Was that offensive? I don't know. The family that left. The Harry and the Meghan. I don't know much about the other half of that. Apparently they buried the hatchet. Side note. They buried their grudge, and they unveiled a statue of Princess Diana, I think talking to kids of AIDS or something, which is very nice. She famously hugged and kissed AIDS patients. And didn't give a fuck. She was just like, you have AIDS, I'm going to give you a kiss, little kisses, and hope I don't get AIDS, but I don't care if I do. And then she crashed her car in the English Channel or whatever happened. I don't know how she died. The BBC flew a helicopter into her car or whatever. Some people think the Mossad was involved. We can have a roundtable discussion. The point is, the statue wasn't about the BBC and the Mossad, flying missiles into her, the back of her, BMW. It was about her kissing and hugging AIDS patients, which I think is in children. It was a nice thing. And so they buried that hatchet. But Harry wasn't at Wimbledon. But Prince, the brother, his wife was, Kate Middleton. And she gave, a trophy to Djokovic. And then she had to hightail it across England to Wembley Stadium for the England versus Italy of the Euro Cup. I still don't know what I guess the Euro Cup is the World Cup for Europe, but Europe's also in the World Cup. It's frustrating. It's people get really into it. I will say, I prefer the Euro Cup for one reason, because stupid young people in like New York City don't pretend to like the Euro as much. I remember walking on the streets, doing open mics in New York City, Manhattan, and just during the World Cup. I don't know if it was the last World Cup or the one before. Was it every 4 years? Probably 2 World Cups ago, and just young people pretending to like soccer or football or whatever. It's just stop. You're just not like you like it because you think it's cute. They rip off the white stripes with their da 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 da, and everyone's it's great because everyone just loves their country. You all hate nationalism until it's soccer, until it's football, and all of a sudden, the same people who were in Sweden trying to get the Somalian immigrants out of Sweden are the ones who were the biggest football support. I mean, the soccer hooligans or the football hooligans in England, they weren't like social workers. These are the people you disparage. These are the people probably voting for Brexit. But it's the young hipsters going, we love the World Cup. Nah. Oh, what's the last Champions League match you watched? Or La Liga? I think that's the Spanish league. Or Forza Italiano? Is that a thing? What you watch that? Oh, I only watched the World Cup. You're a child. You're doing sports wrong. I know I say I watched the Wimbledon final, but I'm not like, wait, I don't only, like, if I only watched tennis in the Olympics, what kind of moron would I be? I only like Olympic tennis is really the best tennis. You're an idiot. It's the same people with less, they care less about it. Djokovic, cool thing what he did today. There's Roger Federer, who's been going since 03. I think he's won his first major in 03. Then Rafa Nadal came a few years later as his guy nipping at his heels and his rival, right? He's younger. I'm not sure how much younger, but his main rival. And then Djokovic came later. And there was always like kind of Federer was ahead and he was going to retire, kind of like Tom Brady. Point is, today, how it all worked out, they're all still playing. They're all still competitive, I think. And Djokovic tied the three of them for 20 Grand Slams each. So it's a very competitive time in tennis. It's probably, I think they call it the golden age of tennis. And, so Novak is actually going for what they call the calendar slam. Because these are Grand Slam tournaments, there's 4 of them, right? There's 4 Grand Slams. It starts out with the Australian Open, then the French Open. The Australian Open's on hard court. French Open's on clay. Wimbledon's on grass. And then the U.S. Open is also hard court. And so if you get all 4 in a row, it's only been done once in the Open era, in 67. This would be a big deal. I think some people have gotten, there's plenty of people who've won all 4, but not in the same year. There's also a thing where you win if you win like the first 2 or the second 2 and then the first 2 of the next year, but that's not the calendar one. All right? So it's a big deal, and he just won Wimbledon after winning the first 2. So he's 1 away. On top of that, I'm getting to something here. Don't worry. It's interesting. We're going to bring it around. On top of that, I guess this can only happen every 4 years. There is the Golden Slam, the Gold Slam. If you do all that and you win the Olympic gold medal. I don't know if anyone's ever done that. So this would be a big deal, right? And you know how much Djokovic, who might end up being the GOAT, the greatest of all time in tennis, cares about that? He said he's 50-50 about going because he doesn't like the crowd not being there because they got rid of all the crowds in Tokyo because Tokyo was raging with COVID, apparently. But they're going to keep the games going and just not have crowds. I don't care because the Olympics is the most corrupt thing in the world. So, allegedly. It's also the most litigious thing in the world, probably. So, there you go. You're not going to get me, IOC. Yeah, AOC is not going to get me, and IOC is not going to get me. But the point is, the Olympics. Even Djokovic is like, he's on the verge of doing something super historic. And this would make it extra historic, and he doesn't give, and he only cares about right now is his legacy. He's got plenty of money, hundreds of millions of dollars probably. He's got 20 Grand Slams. He's tied for the best of all time. I mean, they're all blowing Pete Sampras. Pete Sampras had 14 majors. That's how little he cares about the Olympics is my point. And you people are out there going, World Cup, World Cup. It's the same thing. It's like, doesn't play the best people. It's like the Olympics. You take all these professionals and you're spreading out the talent to go back to their home countries. I mean, there's already a few soccer leagues, but this idea, I'm just saying I don't like the World Cup. I don't hate it. I know, I don't like soccer, honestly, or whatever. I mean, I'm not the only one. I saw Mr. Bill Burr tweet about this. He tweeted that all he tweeted was, God, this is boring, or something like that. And people were going after him, like, you don't understand. And usually, look, if you don't know Bill Burr, he's the helicopter pilot, the famous helicopter pilot. And he gets a lot of controversy for it. And people were going after him. What is it like you only like American sports where they take breaks every 2 minutes and they can. First of all, here's the thing: no one likes it in America, not because they have better sports. We have basketball. You're just not gonna beat basketball with soccer. You're doing one with your hands and one with your feet. You can do a lot more with your hands than you can do with your feet. That's what makes it better. The finesse that Kyrie Irving, well, I'm not even a big Kyrie Irving fan, but he's remarkable. Or Kevin Durant, the man who, fights with 14-year-olds on Twitter. But he's still a remarkable player, and he does remarkable things with his hands. And I haven't seen one thing in watching this soccer, and I've watched Maradona. Of soccer, he's the best. But, yeah, I can't get into this, I'm not saying use your hands. I know you can't. It's in the rules. You can't use your hands. I get it. But it's what makes it less interesting. Also, I can't, it just seems random. You're watching it, they go back and they go forward. They go back and they forward. And it's so hard to score that it almost becomes random. I know it's not random, but kind of it is. They're all kind of, you're just waiting for that moment when, your little trick works and the goalie's doing a different thing. But, the best guys, I guess, I'm just saying Kevin Durant gets goals all the time. LeBron James gets goals all the time. So it's a competition of how consistently you can do it, how dynamically you can make the plays. But these guys are just random, whatever. Point is, they were going after Mr. Bill Burr, the helicopter pilot, and I'm not going to back him up, per se. I think he was, mostly right. But that's, as far as, I prefer to the World Cup because no one pretends to like this. Not even the helicopter pilot Bill Burr. But they do show a lot of nail-biting stuff. People are very into it. They're very nationalistic. It's kind of like watching the Nuremberg rallies. It's very kind of creepy. But they're biting their nails. I think they're biting their nails on the sideline. I just feel like, I wish I could be there. I know it might sound like a broken record, maybe not. But I would love for them to cut to me. And I just have a gun in my mouth. I'm just going, this is so tense. I hope, that's the thing of soccer, how tense you can be. It's so tense because you don't know what any of it is. Use your hands. You might be able to kind of just, whatever. This is the same old culture divide. I'm not going to retread the hands versus feet debate. But my point is, no, it's all random. And so I'm just going to be sitting there with a gun in my mouth. It might go off. Because who knows? When if I get a score, if I get a goal, I might shoot myself. Not on purpose, But I mean, I put the gun in my mouth on purpose, but to make a point. But now I'm dead because a goal surprised me. But if it was basketball, you're expecting goals to happen, right? So it's nice. Yeah, it's also like, who are these people? That's the other thing about it. Like, you're watching these people as an American. This is why the World Cup thing. You know who these people are? Because you got to get into a sport. You pick a side first, but then you got to, like, learn, like, that'll carry you for the first few games, but then you sort of like the team. Pick a team at random, but you got to get to know them. But these people who are acting in a bar, they're getting drunk, trying to impress some girl, and like, so they're trying to seem worldly, and they're pretending like they give a shit about this player or that player. They don't know who they are. I guarantee you, if one of these soccer players, these football players, broke into your house while you were eating supper with your wife and your young son, and he had a gun. Again, the gun's brought back into the situation. But he broke into your house. You were eating beef stroganoff that your lovely wife made you because of your birthday, and your favorite food is beef stroganoff. I mean, she doesn't do it well. She makes it with the Campbell's condensed cream of mushroom soup, and it's not very good. It's on egg noodles and some ground beef, and she buys the 99% or 97%, whatever, no fat beef. The trick is you want a little fat in your ground beef. You don't want to buy the 99% fat free. But she does, because she thinks that's how it's better. It's not. She's confused. She thinks that's a premium stuff. But you'll love her. She's your wife. She's not a good cook. She's probably cheating on you, but you still love her. And she made you beef stroganoff. And you're sitting there enjoying it, or enjoying the idea of it at least. And the most famous soccer player in the world breaks into your home with a gun. It shoots that lovely wife of yours in the face. She's dead. And then kidnaps your son. You wouldn't even know he was a soccer player. You go, who is this man? Who is this man who's attacking me? This is horrible. My wife is dead. The beef stroganoff is ruined. That's the least of my problems. But still, it was my birthday, and she's dead. And my son has been stolen from me. And you would have no idea that he was the most famous soccer player in the world. Now, I guarantee you, if LeBron James or Keith Hernandez or Tom Brady broke into your house and just started beating your wife to death or your son to death, or you start shoving that plate of beef stroganoff in your face saying, eat this pig boy while I fuck your wife consensually, because me and her are having an affair and I'm going to kill you. You know what you'd say? You wouldn't, before you said, this is awful. Oh my God, I can't believe you just told me this right before you murdered me. What's going to happen to my son? How long have you been planning this? Before you say any of that, you're going to say, oh my God, you're Tom Brady. And that's the difference. You need to recognize these people before you can really, get that extra thing out of sports. That's important. But people think you can just, this is America, I'm rooting for America. Maybe the U.S. hockey team, that's because we were in the Cold War. And we were all we all thought Russia was going to nuke us. So we sent, maybe these hockey boys can help us out. But that's the one exception you get. That's why it was the Miracle on Ice. Because there's a miracle on you and gave a shit. Okay? But, if I sent you the captain of the English soccer team from today, and he's beating you to death, force feeding you stroganoff, you just go, this is terrible. A random everyman, a man on the street is beating you to death. You wouldn't even have the wherewithal. You wouldn't know who he was. What do you? He'd go, I've been fucking your wife for years, and now I'm going to kill you and raise your son. And you'd say, oh, okay. Well, what do you make a good living? Are you a plumber? I prefer to live, but I'd like to know my son will be taken care of. Do you work in construction at least? Maybe HVAC? And he go, I'm a millionaire soccer player. And you go, huh? I never would have guessed that. I never would have known. And it's impossible for me to, that's what you would say. That'd be the scenario. So don't come at me acting like trying to convince me to watch soccer. I tried. It was a penalty kick. The English guys, they missed 3 of their penalties at the end. Because they went to that's their sudden death or whatever. Because they each scored a goal each. The English scored in the first 2 minutes, I think, and the Italians scored much later, and that's the game. And then again, I'm not disparaging the sport, but don't tell me. But again, stop calling it soccer too. Call it football and call American football, big boy ball. Call it big buxom boy ball. Big men play this game. At least if we kill you and take your wife consensually, you'll know who we are. This is the name, perhaps. If you're sitting there drinking shots. I knew this guy. He used to when he worked potato bread. He was just a very lonely guy, and he would, an older guy, and he would, he was a route rider. He would help, he wouldn't even drive his own truck, and he watched sport. He would go to the bar and watch baseball and drink shots and eat wings. You think he needs to know who these people are? I know in the Premier League, but I mean, is that fine? But my point is, stop. It's not about don't watch soccer. To be clear, it's about don't pretend you like the World Cup when you don't. Don't pretend you like soccer when you don't. It doesn't make you worldly to like something that half the world likes. It just makes you a putz for pretending to that you're more you're more international than me, even though I came up with Haitian Batman. But, then we do also, so that's over. Italy won that. They lost Wimbledon, but they won the Euro. And then we have, basketball later. The Bucks are playing the Suns, which is nice. I like basketball. I'm a big LeBron James fan. I know we talked about me coaching him in an earlier episode by threatening to kidnap his children. I still think it'd be a great motivation. In this episode, we have the Suns and the Suns. Got Chris Paul. He's a great player. He's old. I mean, I'm rooting for him because he's been around forever. He's an angry guy. He's fierce. The Bucks got the Greek freak they call him. He's Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think I said it right. Yeah. I mean, I don't have as much to say about it because I just enjoy basketball. That's how it works. See, that's how you organize society. You don't have a fucking thing where you have to explain to people. This soccer in America seems to exist just so you can explain it to people. Oh no, you don't understand. This is the gimlet round where we add time. That's the thing in soccer. They add time. They think it's impressive. It would be, look, if the sport was exciting, the fact that you run around more without stopping for commercials or whatever would be impressive. But you don't, so it's not. Oh wait, whatever. It's not, so you don't. Whatever I'm saying. The point is, what about hockey? I mean, hockey is fun. Hockey is actually exciting. It has the same problem of randomness. Where I can't really tell, what's gonna like basketball. Guy comes down the court. He's he's got a point guard. He got guys guarding each other. Every guy's got a guy guarding them, and your idea is to get around them, right? And you're gonna score a lot of points. It's not something that's so hard to do that it just completely. That's the thing. People go, "Oh, basketball is the last person holding it." Well, if it's a good game, it is. But a lot of times, you don't have that. Hello, someone just walked in. They're not going on the mic, so don't worry about it. Where'd you get a blue shirt from? Where'd that shirt come from? You bought a shirt and put it on? See, she's not. People think, what happened to her? She's here. She's off. She came back from working on projects, and she bought a shirt. That's going to throw me off now. You came back with a different shirt than you left with. What are the implications of that? What does that mean? Okay. So, to summarize, you can't look. Things are getting worse in this country. People are going to start shooting each other in the face more often. They're going to start maiming your children. the odds are you're gonna have a kid at some point in your life, and it's gonna die from toxic air, from eating McDonald's, from choking on just weird water that I might end up promoting this water if the company wants to promote my beverage thing on the show. But there's water out there that has chicken bones in it. Don't ask me why, but it's a gimmick. But what if a kid drinks that? You might die, and so that's your kid, and he's dead. The point is, there's a lot of heartbreak in the world. There's a lot of misery ahead for you. Global warming, new COVIDs, COVID-4, COVID-12, COVID-22. You're going to need to fall back onto sports. That's really the only option you have. What, are you going to find Jesus? Is Jesus going to, he's not going to excite you. I mean, look, here's the thing about Jesus. He's fine. Tell him who you killed. Tell him who you robbed. That's what he's there for. And he'll tell you you're going to heaven. But, if you're going to one of those churches where they're exciting, then they're just taking your money. That's what sports are for. To excite you, to titillate you. But, you're going to need a real one. You're going to need a sport where you could tell the guy who killed you, who took your wife after he killed you, you knew who he was. Right? We went over this. Basketball. That's a good one. Tennis is nice. Tennis is great. If you want to be more highfalutin, watch tennis. If you want to be more international, watch tennis. Oh, only rich people play tennis. Most of these kids are probably rich in soccer. I don't know. Maybe not. Are rich people, are soccer players rich when they're kids? The ones who go to, I'm asking you. Nod up or down. Are soccer players rich when they're kids? Probably. She says yes. I don't know. I mean, they go to soccer camps, and they go to these soccer tournaments. I don't see poor people doing that all the time. If Haitian Batman was going to teach kids to play tennis, I have a worldview here, right? It's not just, I'm not saying watch tennis and soccer's for the slobs. I'm just saying you're not better than me because you pretend to like the World Cup. How is it so hard to understand? Anyway, let's go over this. The Haitian President's Guild, the Farmers Market. Let me make sure. You can't do much. We covered all the topics here. I really do want to expand on this idea, though, of me. If I show up at the stadium with a gun in my mouth, a very tense moment, they'll have to cut to me, right? And then maybe I can promote the podcast. If I have a gun in my mouth, but I'm just so tense. This is so, and they'll put me in the jumbotron and go, oh my God, this fat man's going to shoot himself. And I'll go, no, I'm not. I'm just tense. I'm just tense from the sport. But, they're still going to be scared. But be wearing a Kump podcast t-shirt. That's not a bad idea. I think I might, implement that. I went to soccer camp, a lacrosse camp one. I played lacrosse in high school. And I fell asleep. It was the Gates brothers. And they were I think they were like the goats of lacrosse at the time. Maybe still are. And I fell asleep during their seminar. I didn't want to go. I already quit lacrosse. But my my grandparents we're gonna send you. Your brother wants to go, and I got set, and I was like, yeah. It's like thanks. How about you just this? This is the kind of thing the privilege I came from. It's just it served nothing. The little bit of privilege that we got. I wasn't a rich kid or anything, but it was one thing. The one thing he sent me to was one thing I hated and didn't want to do and never did again. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. I didn't want to go. My brother liked lacrosse. I fell asleep when the Gates brothers talked to me, not Bill Gates. They weren't trying to teach me vaccines. Whatever. So thanks for listening. It's been great. Patreon links in the bio. Got to catch up on that. Don't worry. It's all coming. So talk to you guys soon. Have a great week. Enjoy.